Welcome to Monster Men.
Well, I like it. I can growl into the mic here.
Oh, yeah. It's like
Can you growl closer to the microphone?
got a Wolfman Jack thing going on there.
Oh, hey there, baby.
Babies, fellow babies.
Razzle dazzle.
How you doing, Hunter?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Both out of work release, so we can do shows again.
That's right. Hey, listen, I had an idea for this show.
Pray tell, what would that idea be?
We like to talk about horror, right?
Kinda.
Kinda.
You know, we're not talking about revenge porn.
Let's pick a year. Kind of pull up the list of movies from horror movies from that year.
Gotcha.
Go down the list, and anything that jumps out at us, let's just comment on what that we liked it, we didn't, our experience with it, and let's just blow through the movies of a particular year. I say we go for something in the 80s.
Oh, I was going to do 1907, but that's fine. What about 1987?
Fine year.
That was the last year that I was ever single. It's been a long time. So how about, all right, 87?
So we were
You
college then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good times.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Giggity, giggity. All right.
All right, so
Let's look. Vanna, what happened in 1987? Do. Whoa.
you got the list?
I have a list, and it's pretty remarkable.
I know there's a few years in the 80s that if we do this with other years, there are some years that are just breathtakingly incredible. This may be one of them.
This is one of them.
Oh.
See, and this is why we are what we are, because this stuff was hitting us at a time when we had videotapes and we were young enough to like just be bowled over by all of it.
You know what else? Just because of the videotape. So I'm thinking back to my college days. I could get a non-horror fan to come over and watch. Let's rent a movie. Then we go to the video store and pick something out. And if I couldn't get them to watch a horror movie with the first movie, I might be like, hey, I'm going to grab this. And maybe if we got time, we'll just throw it in for laughs. And
Right.
before I knew it, they were watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something.
And you rented it and you were going to watch it, damn it.
Oh, yeah.
It was like appointment television.
Think about it. That's why I remember some of those Italian horror movies. You'd see the cover, you'd rent it and be like, oh my God.
Yeah, what am I watching? You couldn't really get J-horror back then, and that was the precursor to the Japanese stuff where you're like, oh, I don't know what's going on here either. All right, so you ready for, this is a little movie that has a little bit of a following. Evil Dead 2.
Oh my God.
Which I remember seeing. Actually, most of these movies I saw at the Kent Movie Theater in the Bronx Yonkers border, but I distinctly remember seeing this one and the first one in the Kent.
I saw the first one in the theater, but not, I don't think, first run. I didn't see this till videotape, I don't think.
I just remember when I went to see it, I was going, wait a second. Is this the first? But there's less people? Like, there's a lot that goes on in this, and there's only 2 people in it.
You're confused because it's basically the same movie, but it's funnier.
Way funnier. This was just, I had never seen ridiculous horror like this ever. Like, done this well.
And the first Evil Dead is a pretty scary horror movie. It's kind of cheesy, but it's intense.
It's intense, again, because, I say this all the time, it's so gritty. And it's with people that you don't recognize, so it can't take you out of any scene because you're like, oh yeah, like now you see, oh, it's Bruce Campbell. Yeah, I know
this is one of those movies, and you know me, you've talked about horror movies with me enough. Once a movie has an edge like Evil Dead 2 does, but a sense of humor like it automatically, I'm just like, holy crap, this is checking all the boxes for me.
Yeah. So this is a funny ass movie, man. The stuff with the hand, him battling his hand was just that. I think that was my favorite.
I think that's the moment where you're just like, this movie's hilarious. That's the one. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, that's the one with the woman in the basement going, I'll swallow your soul. Or is that?
Swallow your soul. Swallow your soul.
When he goes down into that basement, you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah. There were equal parts scary and funny in that movie.
Yeah.
But that's where Bruce Campbell, I think, became Bruce Campbell.
The chainsaw.
Oh, Jesus. What did you think of Army of Darkness?
I don't like it as much as the other two.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, but I think a lot of people put that one up as like the best one. And to me, it's my least favorite of the three.
We are on the same page. Jeez. We need Jason Brandt here to screw this all up.
Right.
All right. Here's another one. You might have heard of this one. Hellraiser.
Okay. This I specifically remember going to the video store in Gloucester, Massachusetts, and watching it and just losing my mind at how much I enjoyed that movie.
The regeneration of Frank is so enjoyable to me. We need more regenerations under floorboards and shit.
I think
Love it.
I think I said for the next 6 months, all I care about is new skin.
I just kept going around, Frank, Frank. And the Cenobites, I mean, Pinhead, you can't beat it. That was just the craziest, because that was a Clive Barker Looney Tick. Looney Tick, you like that? That's like a Looney Tunes lunatic.
Yeah, and the body coming together from the blood in the attic.
Right. Oh, my God.
That was a golden age of special effects like that. You had like that, Fright Night, and things like that had that kind of awesome.
And that movie holds together.
Yeah, the monster at the end is probably the weakest thing.
Yeah, that was a weird choice. But at the time, I was reading the books, Barker's Books of Blood and the Damnation Game and everything. So I was all about Clive Barker because he was the hot commodity.
I was more Bob Barker at that point.
Was Plinko? Did you go to sleep dreaming of playing Plinko?
I would just go, come on down, Johnny Olsen.
Remember to spay and neuter your dogs. He's not still alive, is he?
Bob Barker or Johnny Olsen?
I think Johnny Olsen's dead.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna. If I had a bet, I'd say no, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, someone let us know if he's lying in
I have
state
a friend
somewhere.
who was on The Price is Right, and she won a car.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and when I met her, it was my friend's girlfriend. I met her at a bar in Boston, and she lived nearby. And that night, we went back to her apartment, and she showed it to me. It was the freaking greatest thing ever.
And she had the money, because that's what happens to all these people. They win these prizes. And they go, oh, by the way, you got to pay the taxes if you want to collect your prize.
I believe she gave the car to her parents. It was very nice of her.
Oh, I wouldn't have done that.
I know.
Even now. All right, here's another one. This one, I took somebody to see this movie. I was a chaperone. I'm a grown-ass adult at this point, and I was chaperoned a date for another couple for this movie.
Wow.
It was weird. The Gate.
You saw that in the theater?
I saw it at Movie Land in Yonkers.
Wow.
The Gate.
So, I'm trying to remember. Is there like a white kind of claymation monster or something like that in that? Or
there are these little troglodyte. They almost look like little sea monsters, but they're bipedal, and they're all over the place. They're like little demons. Claymation.
Yeah. I saw the movie once. I rented it, I think,
really?
Or HBO or something like that. I did not see it at the theater. I saw it once.
I own this movie. It is so good. Anybody who likes Stranger Things, if you are younger than, I don't know, 40, maybe you've never heard of The Gate, and you like Stranger Things, watch The Gate, because it's little kids. It's little kids who accidentally open up the gates of hell and are being beset upon by all these little demons while their parents are out.
That's right.
It's really cool. And it's brutal at sometimes. Some points it's scary, and some points it's really funny.
Yeah. Whenever you go back and watch any of these movies, if you're a younger person looking to delve into horror, something tells me just from what we've started, 87 is going to be a good place to start. Just remember when you go back and watch movies like this, it was a different era, the pacing's going to be different, and the special effects are going to be different. But This is also what I think is like the golden age of horror movies.
It really is. Here's another one. This movie is so important to me that I named my daughter after the main character. The Lost Boys.
Okay, so I saw that in the theater. Took a girl with me. And you know me, I'm a big vampire guy. When they had the squirt guns with the holy water, I literally stood up and said, "That's my idea. I had thought of squirt gun with holy water like years ago.
No way.
And so I kind of loved the fact that somebody was doing it in a movie.
Look, I was in it for the Gertz.
Oh, yeah.
It was so funny because I took a girl to see this movie. And when we left the movie theater, I said, one day I'm going to have a child. And if that child is a girl, that girl's name will be Star. And if the woman I'm with doesn't like it, she can take a hike and I'm keeping the kid. That woman I said that to is now my wife. And we have a daughter named Star.
I'm surprised you don't have a son named Kiefer.
No. But I do like to eat maggots instead of Chinese food.
You know, I live in What We Do in the Shadows. It's worms. What's his name? When Corey's in the bathroom singing and putting...
Plus, it had a good soundtrack.
Thou shalt not fall.
Well,
And it
gonna
also...
have a good time tonight. I just remember NXS was in there.
Lou Gramm does the song.
Yeah, it's a solid soundtrack for the 80s.
And some of my favorite characters of all time, the Frog Brothers.
Dude, God bless the Frog Brothers, and we will never have the Frog Brothers again.
I know.
In that incarnation.
And the dude from Bill and Ted, the not Keanu Reeves guy, is one of
That's
the vampires.
right. One of the vampires, few Lost Boys we did not meet.
That's
right. We met the other ones who were so drunk and so hysterical, and loved the fact that we named our kid and she was there. And it was crazy to have my daughter hanging out with the Lost Boys. That was like one of the most surreal moments ever at a convention.
And we saw the saxophone dude.
Still looking good.
That's a great movie.
He definitely didn't look like Larry Storch.
No.
Okay.
What else you got?
Another vampire movie for you, man. Near Dark.
Oh, this is your favorite vampire movie, isn't it?
This is my all-time favorite vampire movie. Which, when I rewatch it, I'm like, all right, I didn't realize it was as slow as it is.
Yeah.
But I love Westerns. I grew up on Westerns, so the fact that you're melding a Western with vampires and adding some kind of different twists.
Yeah, I didn't love this movie the first time I saw it because of the changes they were making and a little bit of the pacing, but Bill Paxton is so great in this movie.
He is amazing.
And that scene in the bar is one of the all-time great scenes. So it's one I like to revisit every so often because you go, I just need to get a little Near Dark. You
got Lance Henriksen in there.
Yeah.
And at the time, Bill Paxton, because it's a Western kind of, it's a modern day, he's wearing spurs, and as we all know, he cut someone's throat open with his spurs. At the time, I was wearing spurs.
Oh, jeez.
As a New Yorker.
Wow. Bold.
That was the heavy metal scene.
Well, you could pull off those glasses. You could pull off spurs.
This is my J-Lo glasses, man.
He's a Spurs, a ninja star.
By the way, Near Dark, directed by Catherine Bigelow, did The Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker.
So everyone's got to get their start somewhere.
Near Dark's one of those movies I think that is universally respected and not brought up much. But when it is, everybody goes, "Oh yeah, Near Dark."
Mm-hmm. Here's one that I saw, and nobody got this movie at the time. It gets more love as it gets older. Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter.
True, I didn't like it the first time I saw it, and then recently, 7 or 8 years ago, I watched it again, and it was better than I remember. Because I just remember being like, it's a big thing of goo. Like,
yes, gabbity goo. But you got Alice Cooper as a homeless person possessed by Satan, I guess.
And the guy from Simon and Simon with the porn stash for the ages.
Oh, and who was the nerdy guy? Wasn't he the Boz?
From Riptide?
Riptide, that's it.
It's like all the great shows.
And you had the cute redhead, she passed away young.
I don't remember who the redhead is.
And you had Donald Pleasance.
Donald Pleasance.
What more do you need?
Yeah. You know something? If you throw a rock at a list of movies, you're bound to hit Donald Pleasance.
In the 80s and early 90s, absolutely. I read a thing where John Carpenter was really into quantum theory at the time. So this is like a scientific mathematical movie with Satan locked in a chamber under a church.
Yes.
And it turns into kind of a zombie movie at one point too. It's It's really
it's got that John Carpenter low budget aesthetic to it, but it also has the John Carpenter kind of tension that carries it.
What he did great is he got very distinct looking sounding people, so you really knew each character in his movies, and you just had these connections, even if they were only on screen for a couple of scenes. He was a master of that. Here's a movie that I know you love: A Nightmare on Elm Street 3: The Dream Warriors.
Oh, I'll tell you what, this is the movie that made me love Freddy, because we just came out of because Nightmare on Elm Street is awesome. Then part 2 was so terrible, and then they just came out of this like Evil Dead. Maybe this was like the golden time for me. It was like, I saw Evil Dead, it was hilarious. I saw this, it was hilarious. But also the kills in that movie are so great. The tongue, the syringes.
In my dreams, I can walk.
And every time we mention this movie, I always talk about it. The theater, when Freddy like first shows up, or he like shows up in the hallway in like a silhouette, and he's running down, everybody just stood up and went crazy. It was an event.
It was an event. I remember the movie theater was bananas for this movie. It gave us Patricia Arquette, so for that, it's always going to be great.
And discount Bill Maher.
Hey, I think I've said this before. When my wife had double knee replacement surgery, we had it done at the same time, and she's in the post-op, and I just look at her, and the first thing I say to her, in my dreams, I can walk. She kind of gave a half smile because she was kind of out of it.
That's awesome. Now, I mentioned my friend Tom, who was like my horror movie video store partner. We would do sometimes themes, and so we'd be like, let's go on a John Saxon kick and just try and find movies with John Saxon or kick. Christopher George or other of the legendary character. And so this was always a dream come true. I was like, oh, it's a John Saxon movie that I love.
He was also in Mr. Hobbs Takes a Vacation, if you ever want to not watch him in a horror movie.
And Enter the Dragon.
Oh, crap, that's right. I loved his toupees.
And he was the fembot in $6 Million Man. Before there were fembots.
Here's a movie that I remember reading beforehand what a disaster this movie was going to be. Back in the time where there wasn't really, you didn't get a lot of pre-movie information. But at the time, it was starring one of the biggest stars in the world, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Predator.
Oh my God, that was this year too?
Yes.
Well,
this was 1987, brother.
I am friends with the guy who is now one of the personalities on ESPN. I don't know if I should mention his name or not, but back then he was just my buddy.
Really?
And we went and saw Predator together. And I believe that was the night he told me he was engaged.
Hey, look at him.
Yeah.
Getting engaged when I'm starting to date my future engagement.
And man, we freaking loved that movie.
At the time, to me, the alien in Alien was the scariest thing I've ever seen. Predator was freaking terrifying. And that was such a macho movie. Didn't you want to go out and just start shooting crap?
I wanted that gun that Jesse the Body Ventura had so bad.
Oh my God, I ain't got time to bleed.
And then you had like the awesome Native American guy. Anytime. He could smell it. Oh yeah, what's his name? The dude. Is it Yaphet Kotto or something like that?
Oh, the bald guy?
Yeah, he's also
That's
in Commando.
That's not Yaphet Kotto. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, all-star.
People would walk around with the razors. I remember in college, there were some guys who would just walk around with the razors like he did. I was like, that's an interesting thing to pick up on.
And it's got one of my favorite lines of all Arnold movies. You son of a bitch.
Now, let me tell you, man, the special effects in that movie are just bonkers. They're so good. And that alien, I mean, if I can dream up a monster even half as cool as that in my lifetime, I will die a happy man.
Yeah. Again, and then most of the sequels I have no time for.
I have no time for any of the sequels.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the last one. Predators.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Predators. Okay, here's one. The Stepfather
Oh my God.
with Jill Schulen and oh God, what? Oh, I'm gonna kill myself for not remembering his name right off the top of my head. You know what?
Is Stephanie Zimbalist in that?
Stephanie Zimbalist.
Why do I feel like maybe she was in something?
You're thinking of Remington Steele.
I feel like she was in one of those movies like that.
You know what the problem with being able to look stuff up? Terry O'Quinn. Thank you. No, Jack, it's Shelley Hack.
Oh, from Greenwich.
That's why she's special to you. So it was Shelley Hack.
Yeah, here we go. I just found it on the list. I don't even know if I saw this movie or if I did. I think I did, but
I took my wife to this movie. We became Jill Schulen fans. There was something about her. She did this and Popcorn, and she did a few movies and
Popcorn
for a period of time. I don't know. There's something about her voice. She has a very distinct voice.
Shelley Heck was the Charlie girl too.
Charlie. I don't know if you saw this. This was one of my father's favorite movies of that year. And you have to tell me what this movie was famous for, what the appeal was for men at the time. Angel Heart.
Lisa Bonet's boobs.
Boom, you did it.
Covered with chicken blood.
I knew you wouldn't disappoint.
Louis Cypher.
Mickey Rourke and Robert De Niro as the devil. And was it set in New Orleans?
Yeah, it was New Orleans. What was his name? Like Johnny Angel or something like that? Or
yeah. One thing I remember this movie, almost every other scene, there's a ceiling fan.
Yes.
There's a lot shooting behind and between fans.
Totally. Ceiling fans, and I feel like there's elevators.
That's such a good movie. Robert De Niro is maybe one of the best Satans of all time.
I need to watch that again because I don't think I was all that thrilled with that movie because I was expecting something, I think, faster paced.
Right. No, it's almost like a Private Eye movie, like a slow Private Eye movie, but it's just creepy.
Yeah. Lisa Bonet is married to Jason Momoa.
Is she?
TV's Aquaman.
Isn't she like almost 60? Or maybe she's in her 50s. Look at him. Oh, look at her. Super cougar.
Yeah, that movie was an event because she was still in the Cosby Show. So that was a big controversy.
Yep, I did not bring my girlfriend to see that. I went with the dudes to see that movie.
I didn't see it in the theater. We rented it.
My father, I remember he bought the VHS as soon as it came out, and he would watch that over and over again.
Doesn't Robert De Niro eat eggs like all the time in that movie?
Peeling the eggs with his long fingernails.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to watch that again. It's been a long time.
Now, this movie, I know you'll remember far more than I do. Jaws: The Revenge.
Oh, that's the one with Michael Caine.
Yes,
This is the most ridiculous movie ever filmed.
When somebody asks him about that movie, I think he said he got a house out of it, so that's all that mattered.
Ellen Brody ends up moving to like the Bahamas because the Brodies are cursed by sharks, and a white shark follows her to the Bahamas, and Mario Van Peebles with a Jamaican accent, and the shark at one point jumps out of the water and roars like Spot from the Munsters.
Yes, what the hell was that about? I remember that.
Yeah, I just remember because at least like Jaws 2, you were like, it's not as good, but whatever. Jaws 3D at least had like something to grab onto. It wasn't good, but it was entertaining. Right. Once you got to this, it was like, okay, I want to be eaten by a shark, so I don't have to watch any more of these things.
This is dumb.
And this is where the term "this time it's personal" like came from.
Would you rather watch Jaws: The Revenge or The Meg?
Ooh, probably Jaws: The Revenge because it's like a so bad it's good, whereas The Meg is just ridiculous.
Right, hands down, I would take Jaws: The Revenge. Also, because there's Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. He crashes a plane into the water to try and hit the shark or something.
Stupid. Do you remember this movie, Blood Diner?
I remember it, and I think I saw it, but it's one of those ones that I've targeted to rewatch.
If you can find it at the library, I notice libraries always carry this movie for some bizarre reason because it's just dumb as all hell. It's like dudes in a diner or resurrecting an Egyptian pharaoh, and just it's like a a trauma movie. It's kind of that level.
This could have been one of those. We watched so many movies that were late at night that we fell asleep during. So I feel like Blood Diner is one of those ones that was like on HBO or something, and we turned it on and then was like, oh, screw it. Because I don't have a good memory of it.
I think Rhonda Shearer introduced it on Up All Night. How much do you miss that?
I miss Night Flight on
and what USA? About Gilbert Gottfried used to do it too. He used to be a movie host. Not sure. I'm sure you didn't see this. My girlfriend loved these books, so I had to go see Flowers in the Attic.
No, I never saw that. What the hell is that about?
Oh, it's just locking kids up in the attic and killing with arsenic, and there's incest going on, and it's terrible.
I just remember the book was everywhere.
Oh, VC Andrews is still cranking them out, even though she's been dead for 40 years. She never got more prolific than after she died. That's a bad movie. Even my girlfriend, now wife, said that was a stupid movie. but we saw it, damn it. Let's see. We also had The Howling 3.
I don't remember which one that is.
I can't recall anything in the Howling 3. In fact, I'm going to go through a lot of these, and I bet I've seen them all. I just don't recall things in them at this point. It's Alive 3, Island of the Alive.
Did not see that one.
I saw that, and for the life of me, I can't remember. I got to see that again. I love It's Alive.
I think I saw that one.
That's Larry Cohen. You can't miss that. Munchies.
Oh.
Who were like the Gremlins.
Well, there was a whole crop.
Or
the Ghoulies, the Munchies.
The Munchies, I just remember that had a movie poster of like this kind of like punk rock Munchie looking up the skirt of this woman who's got like her skirt's blowing in the wind. He's looking up at her panties.
Those pesky.
So, hashtag me too, you Munchie. Let's see. We also got, I just saw it here, Slaughterhouse.
Oh, that's what the guy with the sharp teeth on the cover?
Yeah, and he's standing in a doorway and he's got the big butcher knife.
So he almost looks like the dude from American Werewolf in London on the cover of the box. I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
I've seen it. It's kind of like a Maniac kind of movie. It's like a cheapo slasher.
Yeah,
it's all right.
The box I always remember, but I don't.
We got some sequels in that year. So they were doing sequels other than Friday the 13th. They did Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Which, no recollection of that.
Yeah, me neither.
Also, Slumber Party Massacre 2.
Is that the one with the guy with the guitar?
You know what? I don't remember. I just watched Slumber Party Massacre.
I think Slumber Party Massacre 2 is like an insane movie with a dude with a giant like drill guitar.
Could be.
Gotta look that up.
Now I gotta look it up.
Somebody's watching this and screaming at us.
I know. Hey, we're just doing this off the top of our heads.
Yeah.
The Believers. Remember?
Oh yeah, I saw that in the theater.
So did I.
That was what's his name? Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen.
That's where I learned about Sanctuaria.
See, I thought it was so cool because growing up, I had a lot of Puerto Rican friends, and their parents or grandparents were into Santeria. So I went in there knowing what Santeria was, and it was cool to see that in the movie. But then the Puerto Rican guy saw it, whose grandmother was a Santero, walked out there. That was garbage. They make us look bad.
I saw that once, maybe twice, and I have such a small recollection of what actually happens in that movie. But I did see it in the theater.
There's child murders going on around the city. What the part shocked me was when Martin Sheen's, how his wife passed away. That was a shock.
Does something come out of somebody's face in that movie?
I think, does a bug come out of the face?
Something like that.
Jimmy Smits is in it. Robert Loggia was in it.
Robert Loggia.
That's people. You should check that out because that's around that time. Perfect double feature, that and Serpent in the Rainbow.
Serpent in the Rainbow. I was going to say, yeah.
I'm not dead.
Don't bury me.
If you want to see like voodoo, a great voodoo double feature, that's a great voodoo double feature. Another one. Oh my God, The Hidden.
Oh my God, The Hidden. What a great. So that's what I'm talking about. A guy who I went to college with, and we just become friends. And we went up and we may have rented. I may have rented Hellraiser with him too. But we went and rented a movie, and he goes, he knew I liked horror movies. He goes, I saw this movie, The Hidden. Well, can we get that? I was like, yeah. And we watched it, and I lost my mind. I was like, this movie's awesome. Great call, dude.
Yeah, it's more like a sci-fi police drama. But the whole parasite thing and taking you off, that is an underappreciated classic.
Yeah, that movie was a blast.
Also that year, Creepshow 2.
Oh, yeah. I don't even remember which one is which.
It's only memorable because it has the raft.
Oh, the raft, yeah.
So that's the reason to see that, which is great Stephen King
I think I rented that one once.
Yeah, I own it because I got it for $5. I don't think I've watched. It's still in the plastic. There's also that time there is another sequel, Hello Mary Lou, Prom Night 2.
Prom Night 2. I remember
which is an absurd movie. I mean, Prom Night's a straight up slasher. Hello Mary Lou, it's an acid trip. I don't know when's the last time you saw that movie.
Probably in 1987.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what the hell they were smoking when they wrote that. And I'm going to close this out with a movie that I did not see at the time. It took me till probably the late 90s to see this movie. Because at the time, I thought it was too childish for me. The Monster Squad.
I didn't see it till a few years ago, too. I think we might have watched it at the same time.
I mean, because when that came out, I was like, oh, like The Goonies. That wasn't my jam because I was too old for The Goonies.
Yeah, I didn't watch The Goonies till later.
And I don't remember anyone giving a crap about the Monster Squad.
Now it's like a cult thing.
Oh, yeah. Now, if they played it at like the Alamo by me, it would be sold out in about 2 hours, and it would be mayhem in the movie theater.
The creature from the Black Lagoon looks awesome in that movie.
And for that alone, I should probably own it.
And the other thing is for a kid's movie, there's a scene where Dracula picks up the little girl and says something like, "Give me that amulet, you bitch." I'm like, oh my God, he just called like a 7-year-old a bitch.
Because Fred Decker did that movie. You're not going to make that again.
No.
You just can't. Right now the line is just so sharp. It's like either there's total fluff or it's for adults. There's not that crossover anymore.
That's a fun movie. I got one to throw in because I just pulled up the list.
Throw it.
A Return to Salem's Lot.
Oh, I saw that there and I forgot to say anything. You know what? I've never seen it.
So I remember me and Morgan rented this one. We were all excited. We loved Salem's Lot. Michael Moriarty is the lead guy in this movie.
Woo!
He
can go crazy.
From what I remember, this movie was a trash fire. Basically, like, I believe that the premise is that Salem's Lot is now a village of vampires who live there. And
of course,
like they're trying to have a society or something. I just remember there's like some scenes where some vampires pop out of coffins and they are clearly like puppets.
Oh my God,
that just looks so cheesy.
It was directed by Larry Cohen, and him and Stephen King wrote it.
Yeah,
this is when Stephen King was.
This was a letdown of a movie for me. I'd watch it again. I haven't ever even encountered it since the one time I watched it. I would definitely watch it again for grins.
You know who was in that movie? Tara Reid.
Really? She must have been a little kid.
She was a kid, I'm sure. So those are your two big stars from there. Michael Moriarty, who, look, he's awesome in Q and God Told Me To, and he's just bananas. And Tara Reid. So there you go.
A little Tara Reid. I got to check that out.
You're going to watch it with a whole new set of eyes now.
Well, that was quite a year. That's a
killer year, man.
I mean, talk about like us two we're old men now doing horror podcasts, and this is the foundation that we were built on because we grew up watching the older stuff, the horror movies, the Universal, the Hammer, the Godzillas and stuff like that, and then the 80s happens.
Just flip the switch, man. People can't understand, and I got to tell you, right now is very similar to that. there's probably more horror that you can read now. And I went to the Barnes & Noble. There's more horror magazines than I've ever seen. And horror movies are winning Academy Awards. You're getting major horror releases. You're getting so much stuff on demand, Shudder, everywhere. This is like another golden age.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I'm sure we missed some movies. So in the comments, let us know what you thought of these movies. We caught the main ones. Yeah, we caught the main ones. Give us any feedback, and we'll do this again sometime soon. We'll pick another year and do this. This was fun.
Yeah, what you should do when you watch this, let us know what year you want us to take on, and whatever gets the majority, that's what we'll do next.
Sounds good. I like this not looking ahead of time.
No, I know. Next time we got to do it with a bunch of beers, but right now it's a few days after St. Patrick's Day, and I am not putting alcohol in my system.
Get a detox.
We'll do it when we're together.
Yes, that's a good idea.
And so you all know, we are preparing to interview J.H. Moncrief, who has a new book out, and she's going to be talking to us about the haunted forest of Romania and her trip there.
I cannot wait. That's
going to be awesome stuff, man.
All right, well, thanks for sticking with us, everybody, and we will see you next time on
Monster Man.
Monster Man, Monster Man.